What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Chuck Silver and Smitty here with Occupy Fantasy to bring you the strategy for DraftKings and FanDuel. We have a pretty large slate today. Both sites cut off the last two games. I think we're all thankful they cut off the Golden State game because what do we even do there? But we have a pretty good one in front of us. Few games. It's ticket day over on FanDuel, so I'm going to be focusing on that. Smitty's playing on both, of course. Smitty, how we doing?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, I wasn't gonna play DraftKings, and then once I noticed they excluded those late games, I was like, well, I'll go ahead and play a little bit.
Yeah, Smitty's just a beast, man. For me, it's more just even if I only play a few bucks, it's just taking away the energy, my attention from the other side. So I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I feel you.
Jose starting off hot, dude. Is there something wrong with me, or does Nikola Jokic not feel like a good play today? Model's telling us he's a good play. I understand what you mean, though. Going against New York, he's very, very expensive. What do you think, Smitty?
Yeah, I mean, close close spread, one of the highest totals on the slate in New York. I'd say it looks pretty solid.
On FanDuel, it's tough because Smitty and I are interested in some cheaper centers, but 2% ownership, if you can find the value to get there, I mean, we're always going to be interested in the guy that can put up 90 fantasy points at 2% ownership.
Yep.
Can we fade Jokic? Dude, I should have read your next comment. Yeah, Jovel and Pirtle are the two guys that, well, for me anyway, Jovel is definitely the number one center I'm interested in today. Alexander Sarr is out. And then Pirtle is one of my favorite GPP centers.
Yeah.
So nice call, dude. I feel a takedown coming. Yeah, 100K to first on FanDuel, dude, one time. Heath, good to see you. Too many centers today, Power. Yeah, a lot of good centers. And for some reason, the whole field is probably going to be focused on one. Hump Day, nice. Kelly O'Grady Dicker out. Yeah, we're going to look at Bruce Brown, and that's a bump to Chris Boucher, too.
Yeah, we
Amari.
just got Caleb Martin out as well. Not huge. He's been out, but
Okay, nice. Mari, what up? Do I look at defense first position? No, I think it leads to more mistakes than it helps you. So I haven't looked at defense first position in a couple seasons. What about you, Smitty?
no. I'll look at like teams' rim defense or overall defense, but things like that I think make sense.
Yeah, maybe like rebounding rate.
Yeah.
I will maybe consider it slightly more for like big man matchups, maybe specific big man matchups. But the thing is, the NBA today is so positionless. Guys guard other players. Like, I don't think it's that useful anymore.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and start with this first game. We had a Mr. Golf fan in the chat yesterday asking about Charlotte. If you're in there, I don't remember the exact question. I think it was just asking about what do we do with Charlotte, but go ahead and throw that in there if you're watching. Half the team is out today for Charlotte. Let me pull up this injury report. We're missing LaMelo, Grant Williams, Cody Martin, Mark Williams, Brandon Miller, Josh Green, Trey Mann. So that's a lot. LaMelo left in the first half of last game. Smitty, what are you looking at on Charlotte?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. This team is just fully tanking at this point. Miles Bridges is getting a lot of ownership. Personally, going to be underweight on FanDuel and like in our main ticket contest in that jumbo dunk. He might make one of mine, but someone I don't really want to get to. I would rather play the cheaper value when getting to this team. I think Okogie, I expect him to start here. I think he seems like a pretty good play on both sides. And then Nick Smith, the minutes are going to be there. He's priced higher on DraftKings, a little bit harder to get there. But on FanDuel, where he's only 4,300, expected to play a little over 30 minutes, looks pretty solid. And then Diabate is getting a ton of ownership here. I think there's a lot of good centers on this slate. I don't really want to be so focused on one center in the lowest total game on the slate. But overall, I think he still looks like a pretty good center option.
Yeah, and with Diabate, in the last game they played the Lakers. Mark Williams was back. That's why Diabate only played a few minutes. But remember, we were hoping he would start the game before that. He came off the bench. He still ended up playing the most minutes. I mean, 29 is kind of a lot to project, I think. But even if we take away a couple minutes, he's still going to look really good at the price. The ownership is there, and we do have pivots today. So I don't think he's like a home run, but I mean, 7.2 off index. These values are crazy for this price. So he is a good play.
Yeah.
Did you mention Josh Okogie?
Yeah. I said I think he starts and probably one of my favorite plays from here, especially in tournaments.
I mean, if we're looking at the OF index 9.2, 21.4 DK value, like crazy FanDuel value. Like the model's telling us Josh Okogie is the best play on the slate on DraftKings, and he's a very good play on FanDuel. 5,400, I get it. He did play 25 minutes off the bench last game. That's when Josh Green was in. He played 33 minutes, so that's a lot of playing time to go around. And LaMelo, I mean, he only played 9 minutes that game. Miles Bridges ended up playing 37. But I mean, between Miles Bridges and Josh Okogie, it sounds crazy, but I'm just going to save the salary and play more Okogie today.
Yeah, same here.
I'd really like to find pivots to get off Miles Bridges. I get he's a good play. It's a fantastic matchup against Brooklyn. The model likes him. Doesn't love him. The value's not as good as we'd like to see for these prices and this ownership. And so he's still in my exposures. I'd like to, like Smitty said, play the cheaper guys and then swap around the pay ups, I guess.
Yep.
I am a little concerned about Nick Smith. He did lose some playing time last game, and the only other player that was in was Josh Green. So, between him and Okogie, if they split up those minutes, Nick Smith should be fine. But I'll just mention that 32 minutes, 48%. He is 4,300. He's a good play, but this is it's a lot. It's a large slate. We have a lot of options, so don't get married to Nick Smith in the first game.
Yeah, I agree.
On the other side, we do have Brooklyn. It's a great game for fantasy. D'Angelo Russell, 6,600. Kind of disappointed last game, but I think he actually played more minutes than we had projected. We have him for 28 today. I think he got 29, if I'm not mistaken. I'll look in a second. But no one on this team is pulling ownership. What's your interest here?
Yeah, he did play 29. Shot a ton. So really it's mainly D'Lo. And then if you wanted to get to a little bit of Zaire Williams, assuming he starts at the 4, I think he's okay, but nothing great here.
Like with D'Lo, imagine if this guy just shoots 50% for one game, man. He shot 50% one time this year on January 1st, has not shot above 50%, and he's been getting there. The other stats are there, so maybe D'Lo can string it together for one game. This is a prime spot to do it against Charlotte. 6,600 on DraftKings seems good. 7,400 on FanDuel. It definitely is. He's overpriced, but last time I said that, he put up like 50. So don't expect that, but at 1%, if you're playing 150 today, I like getting a couple percent, which is what I'm at right now, 2% on FanDuel.
Yeah, same here.
I have like 0.5% of Zaire, and that's it.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at too.
Jerry Tanner started winning when you started watching. Dude, thanks for letting us know. Love to hear that. Hopefully that continues. Let's keep it up.
And they did get Trenton Watford's back too, so that kind of just eats at the minutes of some of these bigs. So makes them less appealing too. So overall, it's just kind of tough to get here.
Yeah, I mean, the minutes are so spread out. Kind of reminds me of the Warriors, except these players are just not as good as the Warriors guys. At least the Warriors guys are good for fantasy. We just have no idea who it's going to be each night. These guys, like some of them tricked us into making us think they were good. I think every single player on this list tricked us, and none of them are good except D'Angelo now. So
yeah, pretty much.
Maxey was him yesterday. Great call, Brandon. Oh, Mr. Golfinmore, nice. Yeah, who's still standing on Charlotte? Got you. Why do people play 10-cent GPPs after paying for Saberson? I mean, that's something to consider. If just how much are you playing per day? Is it really worth it to be paying this much per month? Like that, I don't know anything about this, but I definitely wouldn't be doing. I probably wouldn't be paying for anything if I was only playing the 10-cent. I would just watch our show.
Yeah.
Our Toppin and McConnell, decent plays with Mathern and Nemhard out. I think Smitty has some comments about McConnell today.
Yeah. I have to see his ownership. Is it updated?
Let me do a refresh. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him.
It's just, is his ownership, is it absurd?
Kind of on DraftKings.
It's going to come in higher than this, I think.
34.
Yeah, maybe watch for the model update. I'll see if I remember to refresh before the end of the show. We'll check that again. But, I mean, model says he's okay. Like 15.9 is good value on DK. 13 on FanDuel's fine. But when we're looking at like the chalk value piece. I want a little bit more out of this. And I've been talking about on the stream, the model's been really good at telling us which chalk not to play. Sometimes it tells us to play a chalk that does awful like Micic. But when the model's low on chalk, the hit rate is pretty good.
Yeah, and another thing is you're just locking up that spot in the first game of the night. I don't really love that.
And so on DK, he's fine. 4,100, good value score. The ownership, if it stays at 34, I would have expected it to be a little bit higher. It's not awful. I'm not on DK today, so I'm not sure exactly how that would be. But on FanDuel, I'd really like to find someone else. I do have exposure. I'm not at 0, but like Smitty said, there's a lot of games, a lot of plays today, and they actually all start kind of quick right after lock.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy I was looking at in Indiana? Other than McConnell, who are you looking at here?
Yeah, I kind of like Neesmith a little bit. 3,300 on DK. I think I'd rather get there than McConnell, and the model thinks so as well. We have him at 25 minutes. That's pretty aggressive. Like I would say 24 is probably a little more safe, but 24 minutes with his positionality, I think he looks pretty decent.
Okay. Yeah. I don't mind it. And then Tyrese Halliburton at the top. No one wants him. I don't hate it. And Pascal too.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Pascal's ownership is so high. He's been good.
Let's see it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm definitely not getting there.
I mean, 10.2 OF index at the price is fine. Value scores are not great for how owned he is, though. So it's another spot that maybe we could get away a little bit. And also, I'm like telling you to fade everyone. Don't fade everyone. Just don't play all of these guys in lineups together. Anything else from Indiana?
No, not really.
I'll just mention Miles Turner, 9.6 OF index at the price is really good. There's a lot of centers we're interested in today, but he's one of them. Aaron Naismith, 20 DK value though, 17 FanDuel value. So model's telling us Aaron Naismith is a value piece if you want to get someone here. Assuming he starts, I don't think that this is wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, we got a big one in Boston. Jason Tatum, Horford, Sam Hauser are game time decisions. If we get Tatum out, I'm pretty sure Jaylen Brown's the best play on the slate. So that's something I'm hoping for.
Yeah, me too.
Detroit on the other side, man, if Cade was just back to like that 8,500 price and we could play him every day, that would be great. But at the price he's at, even at the 5 and 7% ownership, Cade's one of my favorite players in the NBA. He's one of the players that has won me the most money in DFS. I think we could get over this 5 and 7%, but not by much. And that's about, I have a little bit of Tobias, a couple percent of Duran, and then 2% of Tim Hardaway, but very mild interest in Detroit, even though it's a really good matchup against Indiana.
Yeah, I agree here. I do like Cade, but like you said, there's so many pay-ups on this slate, especially at guard, that makes it pretty tough to make him a priority, but I do think he's worth getting overweight too. And other than that, it's kind of just fill-in pieces like Asar. We have him at 23 minutes, but it's possible he plays more. He has. So the volatility, I kind of like it in GPPs. And then few percent of Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tobias. Other than that, not really getting there.
Excuse me. Let's see. Did you mention Toppin when we were on Indiana in this game?
No, I didn't.
Decent value score. Relative to his teammates, yeah, he's 5th on the list, but 15 is still good for DK. Poor OF, FanDuel, whatever. But again, this is the kind of guy I don't mind taking shots on. We know he has a ceiling. No one's playing on him today. There's a lot of options today, so not as appealing as I think he would be on other similar slates.
Yeah, I think I'd be more willing to get there on DraftKings for sure,
Yeah.
but FanDuel, it's kind of tough.
Smitty, is it a double center night with Gafford and Joval on DraftKings?
Yeah, it's a double center night. I don't know about Gafford and Joval, but definitely is.
We've been talking about centers all show, so I'm just gonna let's flash the top centers. We'll still talk about them when we get to the teams, but just Diabetes at the top of value. Joval's probably the guy that I'm going to be most exposed to. Love Pirtle. Really love to see Pirtle this high on value actually, because this is a play I liked without even seeing that. Gafford's top. Toppin showing up as great value with the power forward eligibility. So anything else you want to mention from here, Smitty?
No, I think they all look pretty solid.
Like Cat, even though he's down here for value, this is still really, really good considering how expensive he is. And like kind of the same with Jokic. I know he's 14 on the list for value, but he's also twice as expensive as a lot of these guys. So this is still strong scores for Jokic.
Yep.
And DeMantis is there. Khalil Ware still exists as a super GPP play. So really a lot of and Chris Boucher. I don't even know if this is updated yet.
Yeah, I liked him.
Toronto, we're stacking against Washington. We already talked about Toronto, right? Or did we talk about Toronto?
No,
nice. Let's talk about Toronto. Yeah, I like this team. We got a couple players out now. Some spots opened up. What are you looking at, Smitty?
Yeah, like you said, I think Pirtle looks really good here. I haven't re-ran with the news, but I was already overweight on Boucher, so I assume I'll get even more there. I think he looks pretty solid. They still do have Orlando Robinson, which he played a lot of the backup 5 minutes last time out, but he also got into foul trouble, which led to Boucher getting some center minutes. So there is that possibility. I think that's pretty solid. And then other than that, I mean, you could play either one of the pay ups and Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett. I think they look okay. But pretty interested in Bruce Brown here, too.
Yeah, I have a feeling Bruce Brown's going to be the guy that gets the attention from the field. I mean, just looking at the ownership, it's already much higher than these other guys, and this is already sorted by value. We have 28 minutes for Bruce Brown. I mentioned this the other day. I don't think the model's reading him correctly. This happens with new players on new teams because just like eyeballing his production, it's been better than this if we give him 28 minutes. So I think this is a lie. I don't trust this. He's a good play, and then I'm going to rerun right now. I'm pretty sure Chris Boucher is going to be a guy that shows up a lot for me. Power forward eligible, great price on both sides. This ownership is going to update too. It's going to be much higher.
Yeah. And then the past two games, it seems like Bruce Brown's pretty ramped up. He's played 27 and 29 minutes. Been really good too. So no reason not to run him out against Washington.
This has to still be updating, but watch what Scotty Barnes OF settles at because if it's anywhere close to this, he's going to be one of the top pay-ups that's slightly lower owned than the rest. Yeah, these minutes are wrong. This is still adjusting. But him and RJ Barrett, I think, are fine. And then Davion, if we'll see what this 29 minutes comes down to, but his value scores are very good at the ownership. I don't know if we have to get there, but I'll just point that out.
Yeah, not someone you really run to play to, but the minutes have been there, and they've been better since he's been out
there. Favorite plays at each position. Smitty, remind me to do this later. We'll talk about our favorite plays from that 5 p.m. slate. Would that be for like the Express slate or the Turbo slate? What's up, Unicorn Love? Justin, yeah, we're getting to Bruce Brown. We just talked about it. Jamal Murray worth playing. I weirdly think he's always worth playing now with Russell Westbrook in the starting lineup. Good tournament play. Jovel on FanDuel, 5,200, 26 minutes. He's the man. Yeah, let's take a look at the other side of that Toronto game with Washington. Jovel is my highest exposed player at the moment. I don't think that changes. There's no SAR. We only have him projected for 25 minutes. Rashawn Holmes is in the model projected for 18. That's a crazy pivot if you have the stones to do that. Yeah, tell me about Jovel and the rest of these Wizards.
Yeah, I think Jovel, we have him for 25 minutes. I think that's a pretty good projection. I've seen some people in the industry project him for even a little bit more than that, but assuming he plays 25 minutes, looks like probably the best play on the slate. And then Rashawn Holmes behind him. I'm assuming they split at least like probably 95% of the center minutes. Maybe a possibility for someone else to step in there, but don't really think Rashawn Holmes is in play. Maybe like on a smaller slate, like if there's a turbo at the 5 p.m., maybe you could play him. But other than that, not really getting to a whole lot. I think Koulibaly is probably someone I would get to. Let's see. Yeah, I'm a little over the field on Koulibaly right now. I have a little bit of Jordan Poole, but I see this team as mostly GPP.
Yeah, yep. And you mentioned Keyshawn George?
No.
So Smitty and I, despite the model's strong feelings on Keyshawn George, kind of want to get away from him. 21% is a lot on FanDuel for a player like this, even if he's starting projected for 29 minutes. We question the ceiling. Maybe the ownership updates later, but as of right now, I don't want anywhere close to 21%, I will have 2, 3, 4, 5%, something like that.
Yeah, I actually crossed him out of my pool. I'm not playing him, so he probably goes off. But we have him for 30 minutes. He just hasn't done a whole lot. Like you're relying on steals and blocks basically to get there. It's just tough to see a path.
And there's a lot of pivots for this. I see a question in the chat. Let's talk about guards and forwards. Yeah, I'll just pull this up for a quick moment. Like looking at the guard values, we have Naismith. Max Strus is a little more expensive. Davion Mitchell, but that's not the kind of guy that you jam in. TJ McConnell, same price. Eric Gordon. It's just there's a lot of pivots off whoever we were just talking about. But Keyshawn George. But DraftKings ownership, and I'll flash the forwards here too. Yeah, I'll sort it by ownership. Josh Kogi, what a day, man! Josh Kogi at a new price, his highest on play at forward. They pulled D'Lo with 5 minutes to go, only down 8. You'll never play another Brooklyn player this season. Honestly, that's like, in general, that's probably bad. But for this specific instance, yeah, it's probably okay. Is this the next game, the Cavs? Yeah, we can talk about the Cavs. Ty Jerome, you mentioned you like him today. Tell me about Ty.
Yep. I think Ty Jerome, I expect him to start here with no Darius Garland, no LeVert, no Dean Wade, no Okoro. Like they're pretty thin in terms of like actual players. But I think Ty Jerome probably gets to start here, and I think he's probably one of the best plays on the slate. Him and Joe Val are going to be my highest exposed, barring any crazy changes. And then as for the rest of the team, like I think they're all okay GPP shots. Like Sam Merrill, you could take a shot on him. Hope he gets hot shooting. And then Max Strus, I think his minutes are pretty locked in. He's priced up on FanDuel, so I don't think I really get there. But DraftKings 4,600, like I wouldn't mind a few percent there. And then the bigs, I think Jared Allen is probably my favorite just because he has a cheaper price tag. I think he looks pretty good, power forward eligibility. And then Donovan Mitchell is getting some love. What do we have him at? 20% on FanDuel. I'm not really going to get there. I kind of just prefer going the cheaper route.
Nice, dude. Hit on pretty much everything.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't think I have much. No, we're good, dude. I love it. Don't even. Yeah, I agree with Smitty, man. We're good.
I didn't mention Craig Porter Jr. Probably don't need to, but at min price on DraftKings, there is a path with no Garland and no LeVert.
You mentioned my boy Sam Merrill?
Yeah, I
okay,
did.
nice. Sorry, I was reading something while you were going through that.
He's also questionable, too. I don't know if we've got an available tag yet.
Last I saw was he was still Q. Let me see. Kobe White limited to 25 to 28 minutes. We can cross him out. I saw the next question was, do we like Giddey? I already liked him. I like him more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Giddey is probably going to be one of my favorite plays of the night. I want to see the update, but depending on the ownership. Other side of this game, Miami. I really like Tyler Herro as a GPP play. 1%. I know he's super expensive on DK. The 10% on FanDuel at a better price. I'll probably be 2x the field on Tyler Herro at least. What else do you like from Miami?
That's funny. We didn't even talk about Tyler Herro, and that is someone I want to be overweight on too. I think Herro looks pretty solid. And then I will mention Jovic. Minutes have been pretty secure for Spo at least. We have him for 29 minutes, which seems a little aggressive, but 5,300 on DraftKings, I think he looks like a pretty good GPP play. And then Khalil Ware, mainly for me, with Bam getting more ownership than him. But Bam does have power forward eligibility, so I guess I do get that. But I don't mind taking some shots on Khalil Ware, but it is a stacked center slate, so hard to make him a priority.
Yeah, it's Khalil Ware is a player I'm looking at that has that ceiling that I'm just always going to be interested in. But like Smitty said, it's a tough slate to even take a few shots. And so I have percents, just I don't even know if I'll have this 5% if I was on DK.
Yeah, mainly for me, it's just going to be Herro and Jovic. I'll probably fade Bam.
They ran a Jovic Ware at a bio lineup that worked. I don't know
that.
Was it the last? It was either the last game or the one. I think it might have been the last game. But like that's huge for those potential minutes if that's the lineup. I don't know who else was on the court with them. I imagine one of them was Harrow, but that's a crazy lineup.
Yeah, and this seems like a game that they would want to run that. Like Cleveland plays really big, so they kind of need to match that.
And with that said, these guys are still deep tournament play, so we're never playing all three of them in the same lineup. Not even sure I want to, but I'll have some percents mixed in. Let's see, is Chicago in this set of games? Let's actually hold off on Chicago for a moment, see if the model updates. Let's talk about Sacramento. Who is out on Sacramento? Did De'Aaron Fox get traded yet?
Not yet. We got Doug McDermott's out. That's pretty much it.
Okay, nice. I always love looking at Sacramento. They only have 7 guys projected to play more than 10 minutes. It's just crazy. All of them are showing up as decent plays. Even DeMar, I've been talking about. I think he's a good GPP play. He sucked the last 2 times I talked about him, but 6,500 is fine. Malik Monk's a guy I always want to be over the field on because just his ceiling is so high, and the field's not really giving him enough credit for that. And then really interested in DeMantis. Not sure I'm that interested in De'Aaron Fox right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as well. I think DeMantis looks pretty good on FanDuel where you can play him at power forward. And then, like you mentioned, DeMar on DraftKings seems like a pretty good GPP play. Wouldn't want my night depending on him, but I think he looks okay. And then Keegan is going to play big minutes. This is a pretty pretty solid matchup. You just have to hope he hits some threes to get there.
Yeah. 8-point spread, 232 total. It's not bad. The other side, Philadelphia. Who's out on Philadelphia? We got an interesting one here, right?
Might just want to say who's in.
Yeah, who's playing today? Let's see.
It's pretty much the same as yesterday.
Yeah, it is. Tyrese Maxey, 13.6. We're off the fade Maxey when we're on the play Maxey train. We like Maxey. 20% is kind of high, but these 42 minutes are actually probably close to accurate. Maybe it's, I don't know if we can project him for 42. I want to take away 2 minutes here, but he's still going to look good. Kelly Oubre, 10.0 OF index at 6,100 is amazing. And then Yabusele, the guy who we weren't sure if he had a ceiling, that showed us he has a ceiling. I'll mention Eric Gordon and Justin Edwards too. Ricky Council went off. What are we doing with Philadelphia?
Yeah, I think Maxey looks pretty solid here. Another good pay up option. There is pivots to Maxey, like you could play Cade at no ownership, but I do think Maxey's a good play. Only an 8-point spread, and if they're going to keep it close, Maxey's probably having a really good game. And then, like you mentioned, Yabusele, I don't mind getting there. He has power forward eligibility, which is huge on a night like tonight. Other than that, Oubre, I didn't touch on Oubre, but you kind of talked about it. He's one of my favorite plays on DraftKings, specifically where he's 6,100. I thought his ownership would be higher than that. Probably going to be one of my highest exposed plays.
Last time, so the model does not identify Kelly Oubre as a top play every day, but last time it gave him this high of an OF index with this good of a value score. He was the best play on the slate. I think he's one of the best plays on the slate tonight. Amazing matchup against Sacramento. Guys are out. He plays the whole game. Even on FanDuel, 7,200 is a little tougher to. I wish he was lower owned, but I think I'm still going to be over that 15% on FanDuel, and I would definitely be over the 27 on DK. Not by much. Like we're not playing 100% Kelly, but he's a really, really strong play on the model.
Yeah, especially when they just have no bigs. Like Yabusele's not a very good rebounder, and Kelly's rebounds have been way up. Like his past 3 games, he's been 13 rebounds, 12 rebounds, 8 rebounds, and then 20 plus points in all 3. Like at 6K, it's pretty tough to pass on.
It's one of the top plays, dude. These minutes are, you can't get this for 6,100 with his production. Imagine if he actually shoots well from 3 for one game too. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, 0 for 5 last game.
It's not going to get it done. Let's see if we have any questions. Has Giddy been losing his 4th quarter run with Chicago next? Yeah, we can talk about Chicago next. Let's see if they're updated. Chicago, Giddy. Where's Kobe White? Do you think the model is going to update Kobe White's minutes to 24 or no? I don't think it will.
No, probably not.
I don't think it does that when we get a coach's comment like that. So Kobe White, Can we just cross him out tonight? Not even think about it.
6K. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if Kobe White's the guy you need on this slate in 25 minutes, okay. He's going to be so low owned anyway. It's pretty unlikely, even if he does it. But Vooch double digit OF index, Giddy almost double digit OF index. I will note the value scores aren't great, even though the OF index is great. That's kind of odd. Don't know. I see that too often. 0 and 2%. I have interest. He's very expensive. Io, no interest. Lonzo, what do you think?
Yeah, kind of feel the same on pretty much everyone. I think Giddy's a good GPP play. Lonzo, kind of question the ceiling, like in terms of minutes on such a big slate.
Yeah.
Prefer him on shorter slates. And then Vooch is someone you could always throw in there, but he's kind of priced appropriately, and he's going against Boston, so just hard to really love anyone here.
Power, can't wait to see Levine join Wemby after his paternity leave. Are you talking about Levine to the Spurs? Because that would be awful. Don't do that. I don't even want De'Aaron Fox to go to the Spurs, dude. Get like a Cade Cunningham next to Wemby for his whole career. What are we doing? Anything else on Chicago? We good?
No.
It's just not that interesting of a team. I mean, I got a couple percent of Patrick Williams, but I kind of think Patrick Williams sucks. So model does too. Boston, though, if Tatum's out, I mentioned Jaylen Brown is going to be my favorite player to get to on the slate. I don't think the ownership's going to get there if he does. If Tatum's in, I don't know. What do we do?
Yeah, I think this is part of the reason I don't want a ton of Siakam. Like we've seen his ownership pretty high,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd rather just play Jaylen Brown. Like he's pretty much the same price, and you're getting the Celtics without Tatum, with probably the best matchup on the slate going against.
Tatum's in.
Oh, he's in. Well,
Yeah.
that's fun. So with Tatum in, that's how I built originally, but I was still getting to a little bit of Porzingis. I have a little bit of Tatum, but don't see any priorities with Tatum in.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you good on Boston?
Horford and Hauser are out though.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Horford, Hauser out. Tatum's in. We'll return to this in a minute. I don't think things are going to change that much.
Yeah.
Let's go to this next game. Denver with Jokic. I mean, it's kind of an interesting game. Can you take this away? I need to step away for a minute.
Yeah. Let me see. All right. For Denver, no big major injury news. Aaron Gordon we have for 24 minutes just about, and it's been about where he's at. But this game has a high total, close spread. We got a 3-point spread right now, so I think they're all really good GPP plays. As far as the Denver side, no one getting a ton of ownership. Currently, I'm overweight on FanDuel, at least on Russell Westbrook and Jamal Murray. I think they're both pretty good GPP plays. Should see really good minutes, especially in New York. And then MPJ and Christian Brown are always in play in GPPs. Aaron Gordon, don't see the upside to play him on such a big slate, but it's mainly the main guys and then Jokic priced up. But we do have some value on the slate, so I think if you can make it work, he's a pretty good GPP play. And as far as the Knicks go, no big injury news. Josh Hart's questionable. He's played almost every game he's been questionable. He's kind of just a warrior, so just expect him to play here. If he don't, it kind of makes things interesting since the Knicks run it so tight. But we have a close spread here. We could see Tibbs. I don't even know. We have these guys at like 36, close to 37 minutes. It's possible we see some of them reach 40 minutes. So they might be slightly under projected. If you wanted to bump up the Knicks projections like by a point, I think you could do that. OG has been playing really good. He's priced up on FanDuel, still pretty cheap on DraftKings and 1% ownership. Good positional eligibility. I think OG is a really good play. And then at the high end, I really like Towns tonight. 15% on DraftKings, not bad. FanDuel, I think he looks really good too. And then Brunson's going to look good here. I mean, he's at home. I think he'll look good. And then Bridges, he's been hot or cold. 6,600 on FanDuel. I can get there. I think all these starters look really good.
How do you want to handle like running this back if you're playing, say, Jokic in a lineup? Are you trying to get a New York guy in there, and like how are you fitting that?
I don't have any specific rules, but with Jokic, I definitely would prefer it. Just because if Jokic is having a big game, it means it's probably a close game, and that means Tibbs is probably running these guys into the ground. So if I do have Jokic, I'd like to play one of these Knicks.
Yeah, this is the highest total of the night. I think I just want to give this whole team a boost across the board. Value scores are fine. Brunson and Cat being as expensive with 14 plus on DK is always good. FanDuel 13 plus is great. Good OF index. Josh Hart 9.8. This is the pivot to Miles Bridges, if you want that.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're all just underprojected across the industry. Like this is a spot. As long as this game's competitive, they could reach 40 for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm just boosting everybody here. I don't know that I'm going to have like a ton of exposure to any one player, but I want more than a few of all of these guys. And then you finished Denver while I was away. I'm sure you got everything. These guys are fine
Yeah.
at the top. These three plays are the guys I'm getting to: Russ, Jamal, and Jokic.
Yep.
And then Christian Brown, I guess, because he randomly dropped 40 last time, so I'll look at him today.
Yeah, I have a few percent.
How do we feel about Wemby tonight? Yeah, let's take a look at the Spurs. I was saying to Smitty, I haven't talked about Wemby in like a week and a half, and it's because they were over in France. I think he played terrible while they were gone, if I'm not mistaken. I'll take a look at the box score, but I don't mind Wemby. People maybe are forgetting about him like I did since he hasn't played on a main slate in a while, but really strong OF index. I think it's second highest after Jokic. 11-1 is fine on DK. 12 on FanDuel is a little high, but he does have power forward eligibility. What do you think about Wemby, and then who else are you looking at on the Spurs?
Yeah, I think that's the difference. I'd rather play him on FanDuel just because of the power forward eligibility and the stock upside. DraftKings, he takes up one of the center spots, which is pretty valuable, but he's also someone that can go out there and drop 70, 80, and you wouldn't be surprised. So I think he's worth getting overweight too. Pretty much every time he's on the slate, I'm overweight just because of his upside. Uh, and then other than him, it's mainly Vassell. He has a ceiling at 6,300 on DraftKings. FanDuel would be a little tougher to get there, but overall, it's mainly just them two.
Yeah, Wemby's going to be a tough one, but at the ownership, he's the type of guy that can break a slate, so don't hate it. Terrible matchup, tough matchup against the Clippers, so don't love that. Get if he's going to be a little bit lower owned. I'm not going to have too much. I don't even have this 8% right now. Oh, never mind. I have 13% of Wemby on FanDuel, so I am a little bit over, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you mention Stephon Castle?
No, I didn't.
Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Chris Paul. I have like 2% of all those guys. I think they're just mix-ins, kind of indifferent.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at. A little bit of Harrison Barnes.
Harrison, huh?
No.
Nah. I mean, you can. I don't hate it. It's Harrison. Last game on the main slate, Dallas, New Orleans. For Dallas, Derek Lively's still out. Maxi Kleber's out. Najee Marshall, Q. Did we get an update on that? Probably not.
No. It's pretty bad. He's been out with an illness, and it's lasted a while.
How many times can you remember ever seeing Gafford with a higher OF index than Kyrie Irving? It's never happened.
No.
This is kind of insane, right? Reminds me of like Mobley over Donovan Mitchell, but at least that one, like we can look at and say, yeah, here it might be true tonight. It's kind of insane. I mean, OF index is higher, DK value, FD value is way different at a lower price. Sub 10% ownership. I get why he's so low owned against New Orleans. Missy is not terrible, but I think we can take shots at this ownership on Daniel Gafford.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Pretty tight spread. Overall, he just looks like a good option. The minutes have been there. No Kleber, which has really helped his minutes upside as well.
If you're not into Gafford, I'm interested in PJ Washington as a GPP play. I forget, there was a stat on him that made me really lean into him, like with this team that they're putting on the court right now. 10.0 OF index, 7K, 7,200. Good value scores at this ownership. I think PJ is a strong play today.
Yeah, I played quite a bit of him last time out, and he had a really good game. So I like going back there once again. New Orleans defense is pretty bad.
I finished seventh in the minimax 2 days ago with Quentin Grimes in the lineup. He did not get there. It's like just hit two more threes and I take it down, dude. I don't know if he's played today. I don't know if these bottom guys are even plays today. Clay, look for word on that minutes limit. He had 7 threes in the first quarter. I don't care. I'm still crossing him out today. And then Spencer Dinwiddie. I actually don't mind Spencer Dinwiddie, assuming he starts.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Clay hit those 7 threes and then scored like 4 fantasy points the rest of the game.
He's talking about, I remember this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you do. Other side of this last game, New Orleans Pelicans. We're missing Brandon Ingram, Jordan Hawkins, and Herb Jones. The only new one's Jordan Hawkins. The rest seems to be the same. Zion, we have projected for 27 and a half minutes. I don't know. This guy is just a 2 fantasy point per minute guy recently. What do you think about Zion at the top end and then the rest of these guys?
Yeah, I kind of think his minutes limit should go away pretty soon. We haven't really heard anything on it, but 27 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets bumped up a little in this game, but we'll see. We haven't seen it yet, so but either way, I'm a little overweight on Zion. Not someone I'd want my night depending on, but it is a pretty solid matchup. Just the minutes are a concern. And then other than Zion, I'm always fine getting to Trey Murphy. He has a big ceiling. And then DeJounte Murray kind of just looks like another pivot at the guard position.
Dude, Zion is like the best player in the NBA. This is insane. Look at these. Like, he's not playing. He's barely on the court, and he's crushing, dude. This is like 65 fantasy points if he plays 38 minutes a game. He never will. But yeah, the 8,600, I actually don't hate it. I've been bearish because of the minutes, but if he's going to do it every day, I don't think anyone on Dallas is stopping him. FanDuel, the 9,100, a little tougher to get to. Really, just I don't think you have to take that shot over there. But on DraftKings, this price is really appealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, DeJounte double-digit OF index, Trey Murphy on the cusp, CJ McCollum 1-2%. I don't mind taking shots on any of these guys. That's about it.
Yep.
Thoughts on Justin Edwards versus the Kings? I didn't love it. Just feel like we can find other spots. Model thinks he's okay. Ownership 12% is probably slightly high. Smitty, Pirtle, or Porzingis?
That's tough. Probably Pirtle.
I think my answer to that is always going to be Pirtle. Yeah. You were liking Jaylen Brown all day, but now Tatum's in. You want to replace him? Let's take a look. DK position, small forward. I mean, at a similar price, RJ Barrett's right there. Trey Murphy, Josh Hart. I don't know that I would want to pivot to Norman Powell. I'd probably find someone else and pay up. But by DK value, I mean, Kogi, Naismith, Strus, Moody. That's not on the main slate. Not Moody. DeMar, 6,500 model really likes him. Maybe you can upgrade another position or something like that. Even with Tatum in, though, Jaylen Brown's still showing up as a strong play. I don't think we have to not play him now, but he's just not as strong as he could have been.
Yep.
Had Clay as your captain in Showdown. I don't know what he finished with, but I feel like he was still probably okay. Probably didn't ship, but Ken's model has the Mavs predicted as 7-point winners tonight. Interesting. What's the line? 2, 3?
Yeah,
okay. That's a spot to consider. Ken, we'll remember this, and if you're right, come back tomorrow. Smitty, Barrett, Jaylen Brown, or Pascal?
That's pretty tough. Probably Barrett.
Yeah, give me Barrett, lowest owned. None of them are even like that high in the model, though. I guess Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's highest in the model, so. Boucher over Pirtle? Yeah, that's a pretty strong one. I'll probably have more Boucher than Pirtle. It's hard to fit Pirtle today. Seth Curry dropping 30. I mean, sure. It could happen. Jaylen Brown or McCollum. Pretty sure model's still going to have Jaylen Brown. Yeah, Jaylen Brown's right here. CJ McCollum. I have to scroll down kind of far to get to CJ. Najee's in, and then is Jovel still playable at that ownership? Let's build our dummy. Jovel's the first player in it, so yeah.
Sam Merrill's out.
Sam Merrill's out. Okay, maybe a little more confirmation on like Ty Jerome's minutes or something. Max Strus. I wonder if Strus can get a couple more minutes now too. I want to be interested in him, but he's not been good. This is good. I'll be happy with this if he does this tonight if I play him. The fact that he got up to 35 minutes for Houston is kind of huge. I know we got to get out of here, but that might be a spot we overlooked a little bit. Max Strus projected for 30 minutes, 7 and 2%. I don't hate that on DraftKings. Very strong value. Even on FanDuel, model still likes his value, FanDuel salary.
Yeah, I think the minutes are really secure, especially now.
Oh, any love for Strus? Nice. Yeah, apparently we do like Strus. Should we put him in the dummy, or is that a little deep?
Yeah, we can.
I'm gonna put him in here. Just there's a lot of players in the price range, so it doesn't have to be Strus, but just probably pay down at shooting guard. Who's your next guy in?
Let's see.
Kobe?
Yeah, or Ty Jerome.
Oh, Ty Jerome. Let's do that. Assuming he starts.
Yeah, I'm fine with Okogie as well.
Yeah, I'm
assuming he starts.
Yeah, dude. It's like one of my best friends is a huge Suns fan, and so the amount of like times I had to listen to watch Josh Okogie, anytime he hit a three, it's like I told you. And it's like, dude, chill. He's okay. He's good. He's good.
I like Oubre.
Yes, good call. Oubre. Jordan Poole thinks he's an all-star. Najee Marshall's limited to 15 minutes. Leaves us 8,400, so we can pay up. Did we want to pay up for Zion on DraftKings?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
It sounds weird, and it might be a little gross, but we're doing it. And then who was the guy? Like, was there a tournament play I'm forgetting that I said I really liked? I can't even remember who's my favorite play of the day anymore. I have no idea. You want to try to fit in Tyrese Maxey?
Yeah, I'm down with that.
9,800 leaves us 68. DeMar DeRozan, like 300. Maybe you can move something around, but I guess balanced is what we're looking at. No one cheaper than Okogie. 4,300 is the cheapest here. I don't think we can try to fit in a Jokic lineup right now, but
no, I like going OG too.
OG at forward. How much is OG? Oh yeah, nice. Leaves us 500. Maybe we can upgrade like I don't know. You guys can play with it, but these are the plays that we do like today. Jayhawk's going to be in the Discord Q&A for another 30 minutes. That's going to be starting right around now. Just a little more intimate setting. If you want to hear the updates on the model, hop in there. I'll refresh it one more time and flash it on the screen. Smitty, any final words?
No. Good luck tonight.
Yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. Good luck. Let's just ship 100K, dude.